Night dub in the Hoosier State, led by the solid three of Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, and Kristaps Porzingis. We're going to talk about that and more, including Denny's surprise starting position. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Brandon Scott, again with my guy, the real Ed Oliver. Thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. So, Ed, got the dub tonight. Indiana, great game. Man, that's what I'm talking about. Starting the season off right. So, question. First time, Kristaps Porzingis, Bradley Beal, and Kyle Kuzma playing together as a collective solid three. If you could grade them tonight, what would you give them?
I give them a B plus or A, honestly. I love seeing these guys play together. We talked about the whole offseason, whether it was a solid three or a big three. We both call them a solid three. And they look like a good three, like a legitimate three in the Eastern Conference right now. I know it's the Pacers. Miles Turner didn't play tonight. I know they're projected to be a lottery team, a bottom team in the Eastern Conference, but they took care of business. Of course, the end of the game really made me upset. But just talking about these three guys, Kyle Kuzma, 22 points, 13 boards. He had some really strong rebounds. I loved him playing that point forward role where he was bringing the ball up, had a beautiful pass to Deni Avdija to start off the game. Denny had an easy layup. Kuzma had 10 points in the first quarter. Kuzma was getting to the free throw line as well. He shot only five free throws on the night, but he got to the line and put pressure on the defense in the first quarter. Kristaps Porzingis was finishing well around the rim, and Bradley Beal looked like his old self. You know, he didn't put up 30 points. He put up 23 points, but he made it look really easy. 6 assists, 5 boards, was very efficient at times. 9 for 17 from the field, very efficient at times. Was like 8 for 11 to start off the game. He was getting downhill, man, relentlessly. He was getting to the basket. He looked like the Bradley Beal from 2020, where he was where he was unstoppable at times. And he hit 2 corner threes, so the 3-point shot looked better. The form looked better. He looked spry. He looked healthy. He looked very athletic out there. So I love. And then Brad and Porzingis, they had a nice alley-oop play. They had a couple pick and roll give and goes. So you saw some action there that Wes Unseld Jr., some plays that he drew up there for Porzingis and Brad. So I love the dynamic duo. And Kuz, man, he is a man on a mission. He looks like he's a guy looking for another contract. Like I said, 22 points, 13 boards, plus 7, 2 blocks, and 2 assists. So Kuzma stepped up tonight big time, played 35 minutes. But Brad, he looked like a guy who, is ready to be a leader out there. Got easy baskets at the mid-range. Guys just couldn't check him. Benedict Mathurin couldn't really check him. Buddy Hield couldn't check him. Halliburton, whoever was guarding him, it was a tough cover. And Bradley Beal played like the leader that we're looking for tonight.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. You mentioned leader. He played like a leader tonight. He played like a franchise player tonight. This solid three. Wow. Like you said, Brad, 23 points. Shot was cooking. I mean, Brad looked good tonight. Looked like the Bradley Beal before. I mean, he looked healthy. He looked fast. He looked incredible tonight. Great stat line. I mean, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So complete game from him. Kuz, this preseason, he struggled from 3. He must have forgot all that because he showed out and he was shooting at a high percentage. I mean, Kuz was rolling, man. And let's get to KP. KP, come on. KP showed out. I mean, the attacking the rim. He was crazy attacking the rim. I mean, he played the top of the key. You saw a few times where they ran the offense through him. Then, one of the things that I think a little while back we said what we expect from certain players. And one of the things I said that I expected out of KP was playing was back to the basket. Hey, tonight, he was getting down. He's playing his back to the basket. He was very pleased with what I saw from our solid three. They played well. Team overall, let's see, ball movement. They, that was on point. The ball movement was incredible tonight. Let's see, attacking the paint. We mentioned KP attacking the paint. Gaff was rocking tonight. Look, Gaff got 12 points. The blocks. Overall, the team got 10 blocks. So defensively, there were a few moments here and there, but overall, the defense was on point tonight. Like I said, a little bit of here and there, a little bit of transition defense. Paint defense here and there. But overall, I think that Gaff and KP did great overall.
Definitely, yeah. KP had 15 points and 10 boards. I thought Gaffer played really well. I remember Porzingis in transition. You love to see him run the floor. He looks athletic. He looks spry. He talked about losing weight over the offseason. He had a mean, nasty dunk on Isaiah Jackson. That pass was from Kuzma in transition, once again playing that point forward role. Gafford and Barton, man, off the bench, man. They have the potential to be a nasty duo off the bench. Will Barton had some beautiful passes to Daniel Gafford. Daniel Gafford, like you talked about preseason, Kuzma struggled in preseason, knocking down the three, knocking down shots. Gafford was getting pushed around a little bit by Mitchell Robinson, by the Knicks. But this game, Gafford was the guy who was, imposing his will, being assertive, using his strong 6'10", 6'11" frame, pushing guys around. I think it was Goga Batadze and my guy Jalen Smith, who went to Maryland. He took advantage of Miles Turner not being there, and he definitely took advantage of that. He was boarding, rebounding, and not only was he finishing, but he was looking to dunk the ball. He was looking to attack the rim, and that's what I want to see more from Gafford, more consistently. I want to see that guy just attacking the basket and going up strong, 100 under control at the same time too. So I love the way that Gafford played tonight.
Absolutely, Gafford played his butt off tonight. He showed his presence in the paint. He was incredible. I mean, he showed energy tonight. Just overall as a team, there's a lot of energy. Now, obviously, we're going to touch base on the fourth quarter, but overall, the energy was high. It was high energy. They were playing focused. I mentioned ball control, ball control, but ball movement. The Pacers' lack of ball control, we were forcing a lot of turnover, especially in the first quarter. I noticed the first quarter, the Pacers' offense was just discombobulated. I mean, we were forcing a lot of turnovers. So overall, this is a good team win. Now, some negatives. Obviously, we got to go to negatives a little bit. Miles Turner was ankle injury. So did that have kind of an impact on the game? Absolutely. Miles Turner is a guy who could protect the rim. So there would have been a little more of a battle between him and Gafford or him and KP. I mentioned Brad. A few things I didn't like about Brad. Overall, look, I don't want to be a downer here, but him trying to dribble too much. There's a few situations in the first half where I think there was one play where he was dribbling too much and then he tried to pass the ball across the court and it hit the side of the backboard. That led to an easy transition basket for the Pacers. I think that it's been cool seeing Bradley Beal build up to this playmaker, this guy who is not just a spot-up shooter anymore, but I don't want to see him dribble too much. I want him to get back to the scoring Brad Beal, not, Monte. We have a distributing point guard now, Monte. And like I said, Monte's his shooting was not where you wanted to be. He did contribute 6 assists, 6 rebounds. So, again, he's contributing. It's not like, he's not scoring. Last year, we mentioned him a lot. Spencer Dinwiddie being a combo guard. If he's not scoring, he's kind of out of his game. That's not the case with Monte. Even if his shot is not dropping, he's still contributing to the game. So, no, overall, I'm very, very pleased. But before we move on, today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. It's my go-to. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game, like I did with this game tonight against the Pacers. And as always, BetOnline remains your exclusive source for all your sports wagering information with live betting and up-to-the-minute scores for every sport out there. The fastest and easiest way to check on all your favorite games and events, including Major League Baseball, MMA, boxing, and now the NBA. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. It's also brought to you by Game to Game. Thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today. Now make your second listen Game to Game. Eastern Conference. Every moment, every top performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the Eastern Conference with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On Eastern Conference, available on Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. So, surprise, surprise, Deni was starting at the 3. I was one of those people that thought it was going to be maybe Rui. A lot of people thought it was going to be Will. I was very surprised to see Deni in that position. So what did you think about that decision by West to start Deni?
I thought it was a good decision. I would have been happy with either Rui or Deni to start. I had no problem with Will Barton starting, but I just think Will is better being that 6 man. You saw that tonight. He was really able to take advantage of being the best ball handler at times on the floor and the best shot creator, the best isolation scorer on the floor, and just taking advantage of those mismatches against bench units and second units. And he really did a good job of that. There was one time where he just took the ball down the lane coast to coast and dunked it. He had a buzzer beater 3 before the first quarter. Him and Gav had that connection. But one thing I want to say, I loved how Wes was aggressive to start off. And I think he wanted to use Deni, his length and his versatility and the way he can guard 1 through 5 and have these guys press up. He had Monte pressing up, picking up 94 feet from once they passed the ball in. And they got deflections. Monte Morris had an easy steal. They were pressing and trapping and created turnovers. It was a different team. You know, West really wants them to be a defensive-minded team, but they want to do that, then Denny's your guy. He's your best wing defender, and you have length and versatility. You have Kuz who can guard threes. He can guard 4s. Deni can guard 3s and 4s. Deni can guard 2s at times. He's guarded 1s. He's guarded point guards as well. So then you got Brad at the 2. And you just have a long team of Deni 6'9", Kuz 6'10", Porzingis 7'3". So I thought he made a good decision with that. I know West tried to make it like a top secret thing. He didn't announce it until 6:38. The game started at 7. So he really kept it close to the vest. And I'm really proud of West, seeing that he improvised and didn't just go with, you know, his note cards or just familiarity or being comfortable. We know Will Barton said he really wanted to start, just like any competitor says, but I just thought he was going to go with his Nuggets guys starting. Monte did start, but I'm happy that he put Deni in, a young guy that's working hard. Coming back from that injury, it's unfortunate that Deni gets injured again, but the x-rays came up negative, so thank goodness on that. But I liked it a lot. Deni was the first guy to come out. He put Rui in first, but I thought, and Deni went up strong to the basket too and got fouled one time. But I think it's a smart lineup. I like it. I like that lineup. It has a lot of versatility, defensive versatility. It can help Brad out defensively too. So I think Deni starting, he just has to improve that three-point shot. Hopefully he's back sooner than later. But I thought it was a good decision by Wes Unseld Jr. And then also almost forgot, Brad had a huge block towards the end of the game when they were coming back, and one guy got an offensive rebound. I can't remember whether it was O'Shea Brissett or Taylor or Benedict Mathurin, but he had a huge block when the Pacers started to come back towards the end.
No, I totally agree. Wes Unseld really showed his coaching tonight. He did a good job coaching. You know, he made the right decision at the right time. One time I want to go ahead and throw out there. Going into the second quarter, their bench made that run. So I felt like he got the starters back in at the right time. It kept the momentum going because look, there's a few times in this game that Indiana, they had some runs. There was no lack of effort on their part. They did not stop fighting. You know, this is a rebuilding team, but you know, this is a team that is going to fight. So you saw a lot of effort on, you know, coming from the Pacers, but nah, I like the rotations that West did tonight. He did a good job. In my opinion, he outcoached Rick Carlisle, which is impressive because Rick Carlisle is a Hall of Fame caliber coach. So, no, West did a great job tonight with his rotations. You know, getting back to Deni, yeah, I was very surprised. I expected him to start on the bench, you know, considering he was coming back from the injury, stemming back from FIBA. And, man, I tell you, I think everybody's kind of gasping when we saw him go down because, you know, that is the same ankle, same leg that he had the injury in his rookie year. So, you know, that was my thing. I was thinking, oh man, you know, this is long term. So, you know, high ankle sprain, you know, is definitely a blessing. You know, we're going to see him back sooner than later. So it's one of those things. You know, injuries happen. You know, the next man up. But you know, Deni, from the limited action he had, he looked good. His defense showed out. He was locked down. He was shutting guys down. You know, you add that to the defense of DeLon Wright, this team was a lot better defensively. So I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed defensively. You know, like I said, I'm gonna reiterate, Wes did a great job of rotations. You know, a few of these runs could have got worse. You know, he put the right people back there in right time. So no, I mean, what do you think about his rotations overall, Wes?
I thought they were fine. I know we talked about DeLon Wright getting more minutes, and DeLon Wright closed the game. Will Barton closed the game. Now, it was intriguing that he put Anthony Gill in as a starter in the second half. Now, if Denny's out on, you know, what is he going to do on Friday against the Bulls? Is he going to start Anthony Gill again, or is he going to start Rui? Or is he going to start Will the Thrill? You know, so that's another decision. Is West going to make that decision until the game is at 7 again. So he's going to wait until 6:45 to announce that as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But I thought he mixed and matched. They had a couple lineups like DeLon and Rui and Bill at the same time, and Porzingis, and he didn't play Gaff and Porzingis yet at the same time. So that's a lineup that I'm looking forward to see. I don't think we saw Deni and Rui and Kuz out there tonight at the same time because, of course, Deni was injured. But I thought the rotations were fine. You look at guys' minutes. I thought it was a balance with minutes. Rui had 24 minutes. Barton had 25. DeLon Wright had 27. Gafford only played 16 minutes and impacted the game greatly with 12 points and 7 boards. Deni had 4 points. He was a plus 14 on the plus-minus box. I know a lot of people don't care for that stat, but, Monte Morris was a plus 17 in the plus-minus box. So he impacted the game in different ways, like you said, with assists and just not turning the ball over. Six assists and 1 turnover. That's huge. That's what we want from our point guard. We're not looking for a guy to score like last year, like a combo guard. We're looking for a point guard that's just there to facilitate. And I think that's a big reason why Bradley Beal had a better game, because we have a point guard now that's unselfish, that's not looking to hold onto the ball or really looking to be a primary scorer. He's a steady Eddie guy, just looking to set up the offense and get out of the way and have the offense function a lot. He had a couple hockey passes there that led to the Bradley Beal Porzingis pick and roll. But I thought the rotations were fine. Gill came in and got minutes. He got 15 minutes. Bill had 38 minutes. I'm going to rewatch the game and look at some of the lineups. I didn't get a chance to write down some of the lineups that I saw that were different, but I like how he had DeLon finishing the game, but he was part of the problem with the finishing in the game too. That last lineup, they were part of that problem to let the Pacers come back, which I was highly disappointed about letting the Pacers come back. The Pacers almost had a legitimate chance to win this game.
Yeah, and we're definitely we're about to talk about that. Before we get to that, I want to reiterate, just this was a team win. The solid 3 were solid. They were on point. You mentioned Bradley Beal not scoring more. I thought that he's going to average around 23, 24 points, because when you have KP, when you have Kuz, and you have all these other scorers, he's going to take a little bit of a dip as far as the scoring average, which is what you want to see, because when you see guys that you're scoring 23, 20, 18 to 15 points, that means the ball's, a lot of people are handling the ball. This is team basketball. So this was team basketball. The ball movement was impressive. They're always finding the open shooter. It's just, this was a team win. It goes all the way from the starters to the bench to the coaching staff. This was a good win. Now, I know, yes, it's the Indiana Pacers. They're a rebuilding team, and we're going to go slide right into it. At the end, I think they were feeling themselves a little too quick, because, look, like you said, Indiana, they made it interesting to end. It happened pretty fast. At one point it was 8, and then I forget who hit that 3.
I think it went down to 3 at one time.
Yeah,
really close.
It got close, and it got sloppy at the end. So we need to clean that up. We need to stay disciplined. There was a few times that I saw Bradley Beal wasn't too happy. I was laughing, talking to my wife about it. He was none too pleased. And again, that's what you want to see. He's holding people accountable. That's the Bradley Beal I want to see. Very impressed, because years past, especially last season, Bradley Beal's, he was a cool teammate. He wasn't necessarily getting in the, people's rear ends. He was holding people accountable tonight. You saw leadership. You saw leadership with Kuz. You saw KP, the ball movement. They played well together. I'm telling you, I'm very happy. I know it's first game, first of 82, but hey, started out with a dub, so I'm very, very happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you have 5 guys in double figures, it's a team effort. It's a team win. You have 21 assists. Also, they had 58 points in the paint compared to the Pacers 34. That's a domination right there. That's a big improvement from what we saw in the preseason. I thought they got back on defense a little bit better. There still were some transition layups that they gave up, but I thought they did better than what they did against the Knicks and the Hornets as far as letting bigs just run the floor and get easy baskets. I thought we did a better job on the board. So we had 52 boards to their 42. We shot 24 free throws, which is good. We shot better from the 3-point line as well, too, 35% from the 3-point line. A lot better. So I thought it was a team effort. They just gotta clean up the end of the game. Our largest lead was 18. Good teams put teams away, and we were up 18 at that point. And Rick Carlisle got a technical foul. Rui hit a 3. Rui finally got going. He hit a mid-range jumper. I was like, okay, this is where we smell blood. We have to go for the kill. We have to put the nail in the coffin. If we are going to make that leap and prove people wrong, and Monte Morris is like, hey, we're being slept on. We cannot allow stuff like this to happen. We have to put teams away. We have to win games, because I remember not too long ago against the Clippers last year where we were up by 35 points and we lost that game at home. It was one of the greatest collapses I've ever seen, or one of the worst collapses I've ever seen in my life. So that separates the good teams from the great teams, or good teams from the bad teams. You got to put teams away. And the Pacers were a team I think we definitely should have put them away.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. You got to put teams away. That's what separates mediocre from good teams. You got to put them away. We had this problem last season. We kind of fill ourselves a little too early and we slack, and it showed. Look, Indiana is not playing. We are a hungry young team. Buddy Hield did well tonight. Halliburton, man, this is one of those moments
that
where
donkey
it's like, oh, bro. and the thing is, we could have got him, and so that's a whole nother, discussion. But wow, he showed out. So this is a really young, hungry Pacers team, and they were trying to win. They weren't slacking. So this was a wake up moment for the Wizards. We had to play from the beginning to the end. We cannot slack. We played well defensively, but there were miscues here and there. And I think, seeing Bradley Beal kind of get mad and really be that leadership, I think we're fine. Obviously we're going to do a preview with the next game, Chicago. But look, you look at the schedule early on. We got to show out because it doesn't get easier. Chicago, team you got to beat. Indiana's team you got to beat. We got this one out the way, a little closer than we thought it was going to be, but we got the dub. So before we go, quick, I got another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you know, we were surprised that Deni started. Rue was on the bench. So when you're looking at the bench lineup that they put together, which was DeLon at point, Barton at 2, I believe it was Rue at the 3 because it was Gill, and then you had Gaff. How successful do you see that bench unit going forward?
I see them being very successful, man. Anthony Gill, he played well his minutes too. He had a nice reverse layup where he finished off of a Barton pass. So I think he's a good finisher. Also, when Corey Kispert comes back, he's going to be the guy. Rui will be at the 4, and then Barton will be at the 3. Kispert will be at the 2. Also, Johnny Davis didn't play tonight. He was there in a warm up. He didn't play. Taj Gibson didn't play. Shackle didn't play. Jordan Goodwin didn't play. Isaiah Todd didn't play, and like I said, Johnny Davis didn't play. So Jordan Goodwin, like I already pointed those guys out. But yeah, to answer your question, I love this bench unit, man. I love it. Rui can score. He could be a primary scorer. Will Barton can be a primary ball handler out there. I love this bench unit. Will Barton, 17 points off the bench. That's just the perfect role for him. I'm so happy that he's in his role, because we really can start 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. We can really start some 6-man propaganda for Will Barton. I think he certainly should get some votes for 6-man of the year. This guy's a microwave scorer. Him and Gaff, they're going to have a nice dynamic duo, a pick and roll. I can't wait to see that. Rui, it took him some time to get a little comfortable out there. There was one time where he ran over, I think it was Terry Taylor. They could have called a charge on him, but they didn't. So we got lucky with that. Defensively, he got a little lost. I think he was guarding Tyrese Halliburton. Kyle Kuzma was guarding Halliburton too. He struggled with that. But I love this bench unit. DeLon Wright, he brings defensive versatility. DeLon Wright took a charge tonight too. He was being a pest out there too. So I love this bench unit, man. There's a lot of versatility. When Kispert comes back, the 3-point shooting would be better too. So I'm intrigued to see this bench unit, especially when Kispert gets back too.
Absolutely. I was a big fan of this bench unit. I was surprised, but then if you look at it, I wasn't surprised that Deni started because, if you look at Deni, he's a lockdown defender. He doesn't need a lot of touches. His asset is defense. Now, if if you get baskets from him, it's really a plus because you're looking for him to be that 3-and-D or hopefully a 3-and-D guy on the wing. So, no, I thought it was a good decision. Kuz was cooking, KP. I mean, this was a good start unit. Now, going back to the bench unit, it was a good unit. DeLon Wright, wow. I'm a big fan of his game. I mean, his defense, he's a defensive prowess. I mean, his shooting, his vision is just that effort on the defensive end is just impressive. Will Barton, Will the Thrill couldn't chill tonight because I'm telling you, he was cooking. I mean, he was, his playmaking, his ability to create his own shot. I mean, that acquisition is like you said, you very well could see him as a 6 man of the year candidate, easy, because he seems so into that role. I think that's his role going forward. Now, obviously, injuries or other factors can change that, but I think going forward, you could see him in that role going, permanently, and I would love to see that. So now, we emphasized it a lot tonight. This was a very good team win. From the starting unit to the second unit to the coaching. I'm very impressed with the showing. It's going to get harder from here. So I want us to shore up the defense a little bit, and look, play from the whistle to the whistle. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, very impressed.
Yeah.
So before we go, player of the game to you, who is it?
I could go so many ways. I could go with Brad or Kuz. I'm gonna go with Kuz just because he impacted the game in other ways. 22 points and 13 boards. I was upset with him for that lollipop pass he threw towards the end of the game that led to the Pacers coming back. The Pacers were down by 3 at one point. It was 110 to 107. But Kuz, man, there was one time where he had a grown man rebound. He put it right back up. I love that. And he was the one. He's the one that he set the tone for the game. 10 points in the first quarter. He really came out there and set the tone and helped us separate from the Pacers to start the game off. So he was my player of the game. I got to give it to Kuz, setting the tone with a double-double. Porzingis had a double-double as well. Brad had a great game too, but I'm going to go with Kuz. He dominated tonight at times.
So you got Kuz, huh? All right, I'm going to roll KP. Like you said, 15 points, 10 boards. He was you saw where there was times when they ran the offense through him, top of the key. But then, look, play was back to the basket. He was posting up. He was turning around, hitting mid-range jumpers. I love what I saw from KP. This is what I want to see going forward. This is just, it was a good showing out. I know it's game one, but look, KP was cooking tonight. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight. Thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today. Now make your second listen Locked On NBA. The NBA season is here, and our local NBA experts and insiders have you covered on and off the court all season long. All the biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. Available on YouTube, Odyssey, and wherever you get podcasts. So again, like, subscribe. The dub tonight, big dub in the Hoosier State. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a good